Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining us today for another Joe Jav production. We are doing Round C Ridge 2020. This is Eminem commentary with Oz, Mert, and James Martin. Good morning, James. How are you?
Morning, Oz. Doing well.
So, we're going to start out with hole one, of course. This is going to be a great production for you. We've got myself, we've got Sean Tieman, Ian Collins, and Matthew Blakely. This is hole A. Go ahead, James.
So hole A was a temporary hole designed for the course that's pretty short and has just a touch of OB beyond the basket.
This is a nice little starting hole. Hopefully everyone should birdie this. This is a must-get two for most of us. And Sean just puts up a laser beam. And this is Matthew Blakely. You guys are going to see some really solid golf today, and you're going to see some not so solid golf, so this should be a fun little adventure for us.
That was pretty much parked.
That was parked. You would expect nothing less from Matthew. I've got the leopard flying out there.
That's the only backhand so far.
That's right. I have no forehands, so you're not going to see any forehands out of me. Like us old folk dealing with some injuries. All right, so
as partial hole designer, I'm going to tell you the real line was over that little cedar tree.
There's a rough little putt from myself. I think a little camera jitters, hopefully. And maybe during this video we'll talk about the psychology of the game, because we all know there's a lot of good and bad out there sometimes.
Straight out of the gate, Oz, you ruined the star part.
I did, I totally did. It's a little frustrating. It was pretty hot that day. It was pretty hot, but man, look at these holes. This is going to be great. Go ahead, James.
All right, so hole one is Tim's opening hole. He wanted something, nice and straight. You got a little bit of OB down the road. The hill tends to draw the disc down towards the right, and it's about 295 feet.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of these are going to be pretty gettable.
I like Bo's car being in the shot there. Straight over the Honda.
Bo parks where he wants to park. You always know where he's coming to. All right, they're all a little bit outside the circle right now. We're close to it anyways.
All right, so now we got our old man backhander.
I was a little upset about that putt, so I was coming out on this hole like, let's go.
Looks like you solved that problem.
Oh, yeah. All right, Sean's just dialing it in. Blakely with a great putt.
Back-to-back birds.
Mm-hmm. It's a great start. Just off the band. And I think I can make that putt. There we go. So you can see Tim's place back there. This is a great course. It's a private course. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Go ahead, James.
So hole two is 266 feet. It is very tight. The rough is super rough to left and right, and the basket plays on a hillside, so when you're putting, you do have high potential for rollaways.
As short as this hole looks, when you get up to the tee pad, it's a little daunting. You have to make a decision as to going left or right of those pair of trees that Blakely just hit. There's also a real tight inside gap, but that's really hard to hit. Nope. Couldn't get, I think I hit the same tree Matt did. He's going to be in some trouble down there. Oh, Featured Card's fighting already.
Hole 2-1 off the tee pad for this one.
Now that was a really Good out. He got some distance on that one for where he was. So you can see the basket up there. I think that's it. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's going to be danger zone again.
That's a good up shot.
Yep. Ian should be getting out of here with his par. Tieman's on hole A's sideline there.
Yes,
so
he was.
It is.
I actually had just walked up to the tee pad when he was taking that shot.
He'll have a lot of putts like that here in this round.
Right. Mr. Blakely being a little aggressive there.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
wow.
Let's go. Oh, I get this. The slow
Joe.
Slow Joe.
Wow, very nice, Oz.
Thank you. I was still frustrated from the first putt. And this is a tough putt. This is pretty far still. And a raised basket with danger behind. It's a great save for bogey from where Sean was.
So Matt's aggression doesn't look so bad now because now he's putting uphill. Less chance of roll away.
Right. You know how some rounds... All right, I'll say something after this. Go ahead.
All right, so hole 3 plays downhill and then back uphill, so it carries quite well off the tee, but again, narrow in the woods. The rough is very rough to the left and right.
I'm looking at my caddy book, and here I've written to myself that it's got a low ceiling. So a lot of these holes are going to have low ceilings. Matthew with a great shot.
And this hole did play a full, well, it's under par actually, minus 0.29, so apparently very birdieable.
Just below the high ceiling. Did not throw it low like my notes indicated, but it worked out.
There it is.
There it is.
Just the light cabbage for you.
I was just going to say, you know how sometimes when you're playing, there's either a play that either just sparks you and you start going off, or a play that just knocks you down and you just can't throw anything? I feel like that putt on hole 2.
Lit your fire, huh?
Yeah, it did something. All right, so Ian's going to be getting his par. That's a great run again by Sean. Rough little play after the shot, but he's got this, no worries.
So by my count, we're already on the first. Metal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Hole 4. This is the longest hole. This is
a bomber hole. Tim wanted one wide open hole. The idea is to try and land. You'll see the tall spots here. Those are normally very tall, but for tournament play, they were reduced.
Thank you, Tim and James.
That is a very long drive, and we actually had a long drive competition on this.
The road is OB to the right, and the cabbage and trees on the left can be super problematic if you get in there, and that is just a rip.
Yes, it is.
He's pretty much got a jump shot from there. I'm just playing some middle of the fairway golf here, hoping to get my 3.
See our young spotter out there doing his job.
We had a lot of volunteers for this event, and it was really nice of them to be out here on this really hot day helping us out and making everything so great.
Yeah, Tim and I were super appreciative of all of their efforts.
Yeah, us too, players too. Sean was just trying to go big bomber. Unfortunately, he turns it over a little too much and it goes way down there, I think, by hole 12s. It was not the shot you wanted.
That's a shot. I assume he ended up by 16th basket.
Something like that. It wasn't good. He was way down there.
Oh.
That is a not so great upshot.
Flipped yourself over into the itchy stuff, did you?
I did. We were Yeah, we were looking for some disc for a while. And, hit some tall stuff and drops right by me, I think. That is it was looking so nice.
Didn't hold it long enough.
Not long enough, unfortunately. So here's Matt's shot. Or maybe not so much a jump putt, but still he's right there. And unfortunately, we're all turning it over. I don't know what it was, but...
it wasn't very windy that day, so
no,
I don't
it wasn't
know either.
Yeah. Leaving it a little short. Oh, just tickles the right side of the chains. Just short. Man, that cage. Oh. All right. So no one with the birdie. I'm a little surprised about that.
I was also a little surprised about that, as this hole played right at par
You see?
for the entire field.
Right. Oh, really?
But even in MPO,
Yeah.
it's at a 4.
Yeah.
That's the turkey leg hole.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you, Tim's wife hates the turkey leg, but there is a turkey leg in the basket. On many holes, you'll find things on top of the basket.
That was
Turtle
neat.
shells, frog statues. Hole 5 is a beautiful shot that plays through a tight tunnel out into the open, then closes back in
Real
on a tight
tight.
tunnel.
Real tight.
And the rough to the left and right of the opening is very thick.
Yeah. My notes indicate that my, since I'm throwing right hand backhand to keep my right shoulder below my throwing shoulder below my non-throwing shoulder. That was my note here. And I kind of did that. Get a
Looks
little
like you
kick
hit
down
something
there.
and kicked just at the end.
Got a lot of distance, so I was happy about that shot. Got through that main gap. The initial gap is key. But then that second gap is also key. That was a great shot. I think he overcooked it, got through everything. Ian's gonna have probably a look for it. And Sean hits the same tree as Matt.
Oh no. Now I'm worried Blakely's
Still fighting for it. This is where Matt ended up, and this play was great because he didn't really have much there. He was so pinched off.
Was that a patent pending backhand Annie bomb?
Yeah, that was so fun to watch.
Is there a name for that?
It's the Blakely's throw, the Blakely stand. Still fighting for it. Now Sean's got a really tough shot with some real tough footing there in the creek bed, and he just drills it. Great save again for bogey. Unfortunately, these are all for bogeys, these great putts he's making. And that's where Ian was. A little deep, tough look at it. And I ended up really not that bad. I got a good kick. Was able to convert that.
Very
That's
nice.
key. Thanks. Blakely comes for his comebacker. All right.
Hey, there's Dan Bayless waving hi to everyone.
Yeah.
Abby, Godby.
Yeah.
All right, so hole 6 is somewhat similar to hole 5, except this time you're down on the road, not throwing across it. You go into this very beautiful fairway that also is tight and rough. And on the backside of this basket, there is a hill that will give you a little extra roll away should you. It's a good shot, but once
Not
it
too
hits that
shabby.
tree, it bounces down that hill.
That's right. This is it's a short shot, but it's very technical. You don't need much, you just need to be accurate. Yeah. How'd this one fare out? You looking for the stats on this?
Played a 3.
Played a 3, wow. Oh, and that was a great shot by Sean.
I tried.
He should hopefully be getting his birdie. That's some rough right there. And gets through most of it. He's going to have a putt to save his par. Ian with the save, great putt. Now Matt's gonna have to come back here to save his, and he does. Would expect nothing less. This is for birdie. Just to the right. I was thinking back if I made that. I thought I did. I'm glad I didn't say anything. Yeah, I guess that was one of the ones I missed. It's all right. I'll look at that beautiful disc. That's a V-Rock, by the way. The dreaded V-Rock.
Okay, so hole 7 here plays uphill. This was hole 8 in the tournament, but hole 7 on the natural layout. It goes uphill about 185, 200 feet, then takes a sharp turn to the left down about a 300-foot tunnel.
This is a real tough shot. You got to just place it right up there. And if you go, this is such a tough placement shot, because if you go past that first initial tree line too far, then you're pinching yourself off. And my play was just to put it exactly there.
That is a really good shot. This hole actually played just under par.
Really?
3.79. So
wow, I'm surprised
for the open field.
So if you hit early, unfortunately, you're really fighting. You don't have much of a shot to the basket from where Sean is. A lot of trees to get through, so you almost got to pitch out.
Yeah, you really just want to get to the top and lay up there. And
right.
Take your lumps for missing the initial line.
Matt says, I'm going to go for it. And almost gets it. I thought I overcooked the bacon on that one, but I think it ended up all right. Sean coming out with his 3. And
that's a really good shot.
A really good shot, yep. Scrambles, his scrambling game. He's got a good scramble game, especially with those forehands. And that's just drops off to the left. That's going to be trouble.
I don't even know how he made it through that.
Right?
Well done.
Yeah, very good touch. Ian's struggling with the pines and the trees here. All right.
I was kind of impressed his kick didn't put him all the way back down to the creek.
Right? Yeah. There's a lot of cabbage in there. Just to save birdie. Get birdie. All right. Save par. It's amazing. I still can't get over how he closes his eyes when he putts. So Ian's, that was a little bit of a struggle there for Ian, but he escapes off the hole 8.
So hole 8's a pretty short hole. Again, very tight fairway. Not a whole lot of room to maneuver. As you can see, even the drone was taking its time to work through here.
That's
basket
so tight
also there. On a hill, so large potential for rollaways should you happen to hit and miss.
This is a very tight gap. I was trying to do a hyzer flip putter, and I got a little lucky. Kept me in the fairway. Didn't hyzer it enough, and this is such a interesting play by Sean. I didn't think about it, but it works out just dandy.
Let's give him a bit of a scary downhill death putt though.
And Matt was just saying here, you just need a straight shot, and he laced that one. And Ian's still finding trouble with the trees, unfortunately. Now, Ian's an excellent player. When you get in the woods sometimes though, sometimes the trees are just either your friends or they're not. And right now, they're giving him a couple punches. Giving himself a longer putt from there. So, watching this, it's difficult, right? You just see a 2 turn into a possible 4.
Nice downhill putt.
And Sean connects for his birdie.
So, Mr. Blakely throws a clean line through the hole and ends up with the same score as Ian, who took a beating from the woods.
Right. Hate seeing stuff like that, but we've all been there.
All right, so hole 9 is slightly a rarity on the course. It finishes off to the right, goes uphill. There are a couple of options for lines, but once again, hillside in play for your putt. Tim certainly left you lots of options for rollaways and dangerous putting options, and used his elevation change quite well for this course.
Speaking of elevation change, this course, if you haven't been able to tell, has a lot of elevation. It's great because that's hard to find in this Sinsatucky area. This is a great fun hole. And it's a bonus birdie, I would say, for a lot of people. How'd this play? Do you have the stats on this one? I'm curious.
I do, actually. This
I'm gonna guess
played just at par.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And a little pinched off there. That tree right there that I hit, the basket is right behind it. You can see it here. We're all struggling to get our up shots up there right now. We're all right around it. I think Ian's got the best opportunity for the birdie here.
So Ian's putt and mine on League's Thursday night are very similar, as I ran that trying to deuce it and ended up being a little further beyond.
Nothing like throwing your putt and having it go further than your original putt.
Oh no, I was far away. I just ran it.
Yeah, these baskets, the greens, sometimes if you commit and you miss, danger.
Yeah, that one worked out well for Ian. He got stopped on the front side of that, so he didn't have to fight through all that jungle.
I think we all saved our pars on that.
All right, so hole 10 is a beautiful tunnel shot once again. Kind of a narrow opening, but then it comes out into this wide open field and then plays off to your right and then up a hill to the basket. So once again, elevation in use. Basket on a hillside, and some very beautiful fun guy for Oz to look at on his way up the hill.
You're gonna hopefully see a fun little pickup there in a second. But yeah, you just want to place it right by those 2 trees right there, the skinny and the big one. I wanted to end up just to the left so I could have a backhand hyzer shot. To the right is wide open, but if you hit the cabbage beforehand on the right, that can be danger. And I just hit a branch right out of the opening there. That's going to be a rough up.
So this hole did play exactly par.
Really?
So the averages worked out quite well.
And Matt just laces it. Look at this disc. Yeah, so
that is
nice.
A perfect drive.
That
on
is
this hole.
Such a great shot. And I think I was not thinking on this shot. And that's where I wanted to be first time, right there. That's the spot. Ian also a little pinch shot. He's trying to go over the top a little bit. and doesn't quite turn it over as much as he'd like, and he's going to be stuck in some stuff there again.
Yeah, that's a mess. Sean at the moment really happy the TD did not put that creek in OB.
Yeah, right. Add a little more pressure. Oh, and I get a bad kick off a tree. That should be fun. That's a pretty sight up there. I really like that. This is a fun hole. Matt with the 2 opportunity.
Great
and
shot.
Camouflage with the fun guy. And here comes Ian. And unfortunately, that would have been a great shot if it wasn't for that branch. Going for his 3rd here. All right, that'll get him his par. And Sean with the birdie look here. And not too bad. All right, he'll get his par. This is for par. That's
a great uphill putt.
Yeah, I was really happy to hit that. I was trying to stay clean the whole round. All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's Ian's bogey putt there.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep.
And Matt with the birdie.
Yeah, great shot there, Matt.
All right, so hole 11, once again, you have a tunnel. It plays on the hillside, but if you can clear these trees and get out into the opening, there is another very nice tunnel down around to the basket. Also finishes off to the right. Once again, elevation in play. Basket sits on a hill. There's potential for roll away.
This was such a tough hole for me to sort of play. Go ahead. What do you got on there on the stats?
This hole actually played just barely over par for the open field.
So a lot of the guys wanted to end up, I think, down there to the left that you were talking about, where you might have a forehand shot or left-hand backhand shot back up to the basket. But the basket is so protected that when I was down there, I was like, I don't want to be on this left side. My play, Sean gets the inside gap.
Oh, and he's down in that really tall grass.
Yeah, that's it. So my play here was get out to the opening to the right and then throw a big old hyzer. Okay, that's a good kick. So I ended up on the right.
That favors what your plan was.
Yeah. And then just throw it a hyzer. The road is on the right, and there's some big tall pine trees to the right of the basket, and I was trying to break through those to try to get my 3, but honestly, this was a really tough hole for me personally. So Ian trying to hit that inner gap, but he's just hitting trees today, unfortunately. I mean, he's hit a lot of trees, and he's winning the tree game.
The forest was not his friend.
No, unfortunately, and Ian's a solid player, like I said.
Interesting route to attack this hole with.
Yeah, that was the only play I could think of when I was walking it before the tournament.
That's a good shot.
Yeah. So here's Sean, and he got kind of lucky because we thought he was deep in the bush, and he puts it right by the basket.
Shot.
Yeah. Matt's like right there. That'll be a great birdie. Excuse me, you can't tell, but that's a super low ceiling. I think he was throwing from his knee on that shot just to get it through there. And there's the pine trees I was talking about. I figured you could maybe break through on the lower end of it to maybe have a putt, but didn't quite get through. Ian, just short again, unfortunately. Saving par. Let's go. Sean for the birdie.
Nope.
That's surprising. He's been putting really well. And the bogey woes still impacting Ian, unfortunately. Hopefully he'll get a couple birdies coming up.
Matt played that hole quite well.
He did. He played it just like he wanted to.
All right, so after the first half, we've got Mr. Tieman at even, Mr. Blakely -2, Mr. Mert -4, and Mr. Collins at +3.
Thanks so much for joining us. Hang on tight for the second round, or second half of the round.